Hey guys, Michelle and Brandon here again. We want to talk to you about a really important skill that we feel everyone needs to develop, and that is following up. This is hugely important to your success initially and long term, because if you don't do it, you're probably not going to sign as many people up. I feel like the follow-up is more important than the initial contact with people. And I have found that to be true in the last 3 years of doing this. This is not my initial strength, but it's something that I have learned to do. And once you get into a routine with it, I feel like it will come naturally to you and it'll just be part of your everyday working your business.
So in the follow-up, there's just some different things that me and Michelle do to follow up. I found it being very successful in the landscaping company that I own, and then especially even in the It Works business that is just awesome, which I love doing more than the landscaping. I enjoy the landscaping, but this is just so much better and funner. And so we just want to talk to you about some of the methods and some of the different things that we do when we follow up with people.
So I mean, there's just going to be different, you're going to be in different times, different scenarios, different situations, and so I wanted to kind of touch on following up after parties. My whole goal when I walk into a room full of people is just to sign them up right then and there. I have great success with doing that, but there are those people who are kind of stuck when, they're kind of already made up their mind, like, I'm not going to buy anything tonight, even if they try a wrap or whatever. So it's going to be really important that you if you've wrapped them, follow up with them in 3 days, try and get there before and after, be able to put their pictures together for them. And I really feel like all of this needs to be done within 2 to 3 days of meeting someone. So a lot of times following up in the beginning, it's going to be people that you know that came to your parties. If you've been in the business for a while, it's going to be people that you don't know. So I try to add them on Facebook at a party, just so I can make it as easy as possible on me with following up. And, just shooting them a text message like, hey, I'd love to put your pictures together for you. Have you decided if you're going to become a loyal customer or a distributor? At that point you could follow up with, any kind of a little clip, like maybe the Party Blitz video, just to get them excited again and so that they really know that they need to do that full treatment.
So one of the ways that I follow up and that Michelle follows up is, a lot of people ask that. So how do you follow up? What do you say when you follow up? And so I want to back up a little bit, and I want to talk about whenever a situation comes up that you're inviting someone to do a party for you, you've blitzed somebody, you've given them the information, you've either texted them your blitz card, or you've given them a blitz card in person, or you've talked to somebody after a party and they're willing to host a party for you, or you blitz someone in the grocery store, whenever, you always need to tell them when you will follow up. Do not just say, yeah, I'll get with you sometime, or, call me if you're interested. It's none of that. So after you blitz someone, after a party, after you've talked to a friend, after you've private messaged someone on Facebook or Instagram, and you're going to, you need to follow up with them at some time, you need to tell them when you're going to follow up. So you're giving them the blitz card, or you've sent them the message, and they're kind of like, okay, I'm going to think about this, or let me see what my schedule is, or whatever. You need to say, okay, I'm going to follow up with you. You need to follow up in 2 to 3 days, unless they specifically say, hey, I need till the end of the week or whatever. Pick a day and say, I will follow up with you on Friday. The thing that has really helped me and Michelle is I have this in my landscape business, and I use the same one for It Works, and Michelle has a smaller version of what I have in It Works. And what she has in here is we actually have this little folder, and if you look in the top here, it's got all of the days. It says like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So what I do is whenever I talk to someone, I will write a note and I will put that piece of paper in what day I'm going to follow up with them. And what we did for Michelle is she has these Blitz cards and she's getting all antsy. She's like wanting to rip it out of my hands and take it. But she has these comment cards in here that she fills out. I'll let her talk about it.
Okay, so when I meet someone, I keep this in my purse all the time. When I meet someone, I have male and female cards in here. I give them a card, I blitz them, and then depending on their level of interest, if they have any interest at all, I give them one of these little sheets to fill out that has their name, address, phone number, email. You want more information, you want to host a party, you want more information about the business, and so I will have them, I showed it, so I'll have them fill out all their information, and then just depending on what we talked about, once I leave them, I'll make some notes on the back about them, like what we talked about, what they were interested in, you know, even maybe what they look like. And then, like Brandon said, I'm going to put it back in here in the day that I told them I was going to follow up with them. That way you can just go here, you know, and you know every single day who you need to follow up with. And Brandon gave me this idea, and it has worked great.
So I love this method. I do it in my landscaping, and the same folder that I use in the landscaping I use with It Works, because I love It Works. And so I will put it in, say I'm going to talk to someone on Monday. I'll take that information, I'll write down their phone number, their information, and I'll put it in the section for Monday. So when I wake up Monday morning, then every person that I need to follow up with and that I need to talk to that day that I said I was going to call and talk to, then I have that in the folder already. I just open up Monday, I grab everything out, and I start going through it. So when you call back people, this is what I like to say. Some people are like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to sound desperate or come off salesy and everything else. The thing that I love to tell people is when I follow up with them is I start off by just saying, hey, this is Brandon with It Works, and I just told you I'd give you a follow-up call today, and so I'm doing just that. I'm following up with you, and I'm just saying, you know, how do you want to schedule the party? Or I just start having a conversation with them. How did that wrap go? Depending on if they were at a wrap party, how did it feel? How are you feeling about the products? And then I will just ask them, you know, when do you want to host that sample night, that product demo night? And so that's when I ask them. And sometimes I'll even tell people like, hey, I'm doing a follow-up call. I told you I'd call today. I'm not trying to pressure you into this. I'm just trying to convey to you the message that I'm doing what I said I was going to do. And I'm also just trying to convey the message, what I told you, that I really think that you would be a good distributor about this in this It Works business. And so tell people that.
You can also just ask them at that point, you know, have you decided to become a loyal customer, or have you decided to join my team and make some extra money? You're going to need to be direct. You're not going to want to beat around the bush with this follow-up call. And sometimes I've even given people the advice, if you're not sure what to say, write it down first. I know it can kind of sound silly, but you might be getting nervous on the phone, and especially if you're new. It's just write down what you want to say to them, and then that way you're going to be able to read it off of a paper. After events is kind of a similar thing. You know, you're going to have a lot of those little sheets filled out after an event. I mean like a boutique or an expo or some sort of vendor event where you set up a table, you're collecting leads and things like that. You're going to be following up with people to schedule parties, one-on-one appointments. People have asked for more information about the business or the loyal customer program, and things like that. And so you're going to want to, while it's fresh in their mind, while they're a hot lead and they're remembering how awesome you were to talk to at that event, contact them within 3 days.
So 2 to 3 days, contact them and always tell them, this is when I'm going to follow up with you. Take their information. You don't have to use this system if you don't want to. It's worked really well for us. then do it in a calendar app or do a notes app in your
Yeah.
phone and go and leave a note to make sure that you call that people. But some sort of system needs to be set up that you tell people, this is when I'm going to follow up with you, and then make sure you follow up. And I find it really easy just to start up saying, this is Brandon from It Works. Hey, I just told you I was going to follow up today with you and just wanted to see how everything's going. I'll have that conversation with them. And if people are kind of like, well, I don't know, and and I just, if they just don't seem really interested all the way, but they're not sure, that's when I say, you know what, I'm not here to pressure you. I'm just here to convey that message to you that I told you I would call you back, and I really did see that in you, what I told you the other night of complimenting. We talked about complimenting and inviting. I just tell them, I'm just conveying that message of what I complimented you about. And then you go in and ask them to do the party or to join your team or to do those different things. And if a lot of people, if they haven't made up their mind, then I just tell them like, hey, you know what, it's okay. What I'm going to do is just follow up with you again on Monday. And most people are okay with that. Very few people will say, I don't know. And then I'll just say, if they act that way, I just tell them straight up, okay, I'm going to put the ball in your court. If you're interested, then just give me a call. You have my information. I'm not going to bother you anymore. So what do you do with people that you contact, but they're not answering your phone calls and they're not returning messages? What I like to do is I will actually leave them a voice message and say, hey, this is Brandon with It Works. I just told you I was going to I told you I would call you today and follow up with you. Just wanted to see how everything was going. I loved talking to you the other day, whatever. Just be all bubbly and happy and excited. And then just say, hey, what I'm going to do is follow up with you this day if I don't hear back from you. I hope you'll give me a call, but if not, I'll just call you here in the next day or two. If I've called someone and left 3 messages, depending on the distributor that I feel like they can be or the type of lead it is, then I'll usually give people 3 to 5 chances. Sometimes when I'm leaving these messages, a voice message, I'll leave a text message as well and just say, hey, I'm just trying to get a hold of you, just wondering how everything's going. Give me a call when you have a minute. And then that's what I'll say. After I've contacted them 3 to 5 times with voice message and text message, I send my last message to them. And I said, hey, it was so great talking to you the other day. I'm not going to sit here and bother you about these products. I think you're an amazing person. If you are interested in taking a look at this, then you've got my information. Give me a call, but I'm not going to be calling you anymore.
Yeah,
and what I will do is basically take that card out, and it is gonzo. It's gone. I'm not even thinking about them. Yeah. They're not on my radar. I'm not wasting my time with them anymore. And what I'm doing is now I'm focusing on the other people that are in my schedule. And so this method that we have of following up is important. And you need to follow up every 2 to 3 days and tell them every time you're going to follow up. I've had people tell me so many times that I'm joining you, or I'm going to host a party, or I'm going to have you landscape my yard because you actually followed up with me. What message does that send people? Everyone, you're looking at it like, I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to bother people. But if you don't follow up with people, what message are you really sending people? You're sending the message that you don't care.
Or that's not that important.
And that you're not going to take care of them. And you're not going to follow up. And so that's why you're calling. That's the message you're trying to convey. And I'll tell people that. I'm trying to convey, the reason why I'm calling is not to bother you or pressure you. I'm just trying to convey to you a message that I do what I say I'm going to do. And I say things like that.
Yeah. And I think too, just when you're thinking of following up, there's just so many areas. I mean, so much of what I do every day is following up. So think of when you have a brand new distributor. Okay, so there are times when you're going to sign up someone, and after you sign them up, like we say, they're going to enter the witness protection program. and you're not going to be able to get a hold of them, or they won't text you back, and it can be kind of frustrating. So I kind of do what Brandon said, is I'll give them about 3 chances to get back with me. I'll send them like a training video, I'll send them, you know, a message, say, hey, we're having a team meeting or a team party, things like that. But if after 3 times of me messaging them and they will not message me back, I'll say something like that. Look, hey, I think you would do great at this business. This business has been life-changing for me. You know, say what it has been for you. But I'll say, you know, my time is really valuable, and I don't want to feel like I'm dragging you or babysitting you. And so when you're ready, please let me know. I would love to work with you when you're ready. Because, I mean, sometimes it's like a fine line. Like, where do I sort of draw the line with a distributor? And it can be even a distributor that goes gung-ho in the beginning, and then a couple months in, you can't get a hold of them. So just do maybe like 3 messages and then end with that last message that I just said, and you're going to have to move on.
And we've had good success with it. Some people have just gotten back with us, and the landscaping, it works, and distributors that have gone MIA, and they go, yeah, sorry, I was really busy, or whatever. And so we try not to be rude. You don't want to be rude. You want to be kind, but you just need to let them know, like, hey, I don't want to drag you. I'm not here to pressure you. If you're interested in working this business, then, you know, you have my information or you have my number. Give me a call. I'd love to help you host a party if it's a distributor, or I'd love to come and do a product sample night, but I'm not here to pressure you, and I'm not going to keep bothering you. If you are interested, then contact me. Other than that, I'm not going to bother you with it anymore. And you'd be surprised. Some people kind of go, wow, they really care about their time. And we've had people call back 2 weeks later and say, I'm so sorry, life was just really crazy. Sorry I didn't get back with you, but I'm ready right now. And sometimes you just don't even hear from people. But what you need to do is just get some sort of system that really, and you need to be consistent with it. And that's what I found that works, and that Michelle has found that works, is this system that we have. And so I urge you to go get a folder and label it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Michelle's got her Blitz cards in here. And then Michelle has the places to write down people's information. And then put it in what day you say you're going to contact them back. And be consistent. Follow up with people when you say you're going to follow up, and convey that message that you join. It's not just joining It Works. They're joining you. And they're looking to you as their leader. And if you want to know what people's biggest concern is in doing this, that is, people's biggest concern is they want to make sure they're joining the right team. And they want to make sure that who they're joining with is going to take care of them.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you that the products are great and they speak volumes and everything else. That is only half of getting someone to join your team. That's only half. The other half is you. They're going to join because of you, and they want to see that you really will do what you say you're going to do and take care of them. That's why you need to be consistent in following up.
Another aspect of following up, besides your distributors and besides your potentials, is your blessed loyal customers. They always say that your loyal customers are the heart and soul of your business. So what I do and what I like to do is, on your Steps to Success worksheet, when you sign up a loyal customer, if you decide to place them under another distributor in your team, I always will write placed under so-and-so, so that I can kind of go back. Another thing that I do when I first wrap someone and they join as a loyal customer, one idea is to, first of all, put them in your phone. Put them in your phone as a contact. Also, you can go in and put them in your calendar, and put them in 2 days, and in 2 weeks, and in 2 months. And just do it right when they enroll as a customer, or that night when you get home. And that way you'll know that you're going to follow up with them. In 2 weeks, they should have their products. They should be using them. You can get any questions answered for them. And then at 2 months, we do that because their last possible auto ship of their loyal customer agreement is going to be over. So at that point, you can maybe recommend a couple products, ask them what their goals are, and say, oh, these are some products that you might want to try. And then just, at least once every 3 to 6 months after that, and just try and find a creative way to stay in touch with your loyal customers, and putting them in the calendar has been good for me. So yeah, I just cannot stress enough, this skill is so important. And Eric Worre is one of my big heroes in network marketing, and he always says the fortune is in the follow-up. And I'm telling you, even though this might be hard in the beginning, the more that you do it, they say that just the average person has to see something 7 to 12 times to actually follow through with ordering it or buying it. So you would hate to lose those potentials that actually turn into customers and distributors because you're not following up.
Hope these tips have been good for you. Want you guys to implement some sort of system where you will be consistent in following up. Make sure you're consistent in telling people when you're going to follow up. Implement the system that you will follow up those days, 2 to 3 days after you talk to somebody, and then give them 3 to 5 chances, and then turn it back over to them, and then just start working with people that are interested. So thanks for tuning in.
See ya.